Hi everybody, happy Sunday. I'm back to share my 13 haunted projects of Halloween series. Today we're on number 6 and I'm going to show you how I put together my spooky cute banner sign. Enter if you dare. I realize you guys won't have, a lot of the same decorations, but I'm basically going to show you how I put mine together and then you can decorate yours however you would like. So let's get started. I started off with painting my wooden dowel, and the dowel size I used was 3/16 by 12 inches. And I just painted my ends because you're not going to see this part. And I used black, and then I used this extreme glitter from Folk Art. And when you first paint it on, it looks kind of white, but it dries really clear and it gives you this extreme glitter look, and it doesn't rub off. I really, really love that stuff. So you're going to want a dowel for your hanger. And then I'm using for my burlap the laminated burlap from Crafty Cuts. And I picked up this roll. It's 12 inches by 47 inches, and I picked it up at Hobby Lobby, and it's really nice because it has a laminated back and it doesn't fray, so it's great for these kind of projects. Okay, and then you're gonna want to cut a piece of your laminated burlap 6.5 inches by 10. You're gonna need a black sheet of cardstock 8.5 by 11. And then your orange piece of cardstock is 7.5 by 10.5. Now I went ahead on the top parts of my papers and scored them at 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of fold them. And basically it's just going to make it easier when we put them together to bend them and glue them down over the dowel rod. Okay, so that's why I scored those. Now, to cut your tails, what I did was I found my center on each of my papers, and then I went ahead and went up, measured up, like I found my center, and then I measured up 1.5 inches and I put a little line there, so that when I cut my tails, it's pretty symmetrical with all of them. I did the same thing with the black one. Found my center, went up 1.5 inches and made a mark. And I also did it with my burlap. I'm going to show you the reason why. I'm going to fold my burlap in half, and I'm going to be cutting my tails. So right here is my 1.5 inch mark, and right there is my center that I had marked. So I'm going to go from this point, and I'm just going to cut up to meet the marker part, and it made my tail. I'm going to do the same thing with the black. I'm not going to fold it completely in half, but I'm just going to join these two ends. Oops, sorry. Here we go. I'm going to join these 2 points here, kind of pinch it, and I can see right here where I'm going to need to cut. So I'm going to follow straight up to that 1.5 inch mark that I made and cut my tail. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the orange. Here's my 1.5 inch mark and my center. I'm going to kind of fold this and meet the points here. And I'm just going to kind of pinch it right where my mark is. And I'm going to cut. And let's get rid of these scraps. Now I'm going to put them together. So let me flip this one over. And I'm going to use some double-sided tape And I'm going to line this up the very top and kind of center it so that there's a 1/2 inch showing of black on each side. Okay, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to fold on that score line again just to keep it folded. And now we're going to add our burlap, and we're going to go right to that top piece there. Okay, the burlap I was able to use ATG tape because it's laminated. I just had to press, you know, kind of hard, but it worked really well. I was kind of surprised. I thought I might have to use hot glue or something, but this worked fantastic. Okay, and we're going to center it, line it up at the top best you can. So that you have a 1/2 inch of orange showing on both sides. Okay, and then I went ahead and I kind of inked up my papers. So I'm going to fold this piece down. I'm just going to kind of ink the top, and then I ran it in like this. And I'm using black soot. But I'm using black soot distress ink. Okay. So now that that's done, I'm going to put it on my dowel rod. So I'm going to flip it around, and then where it's bent, actually I should have put a piece here so that adheres to the black. Okay, so where it's bent, I'm going to add hot glue in that center piece there. Put my dowel rod, and then flip my paper over. And then I'm going to want to put hot glue on the edge of the paper. Just when you flip it, make sure you don't burn your fingers. And then push that down. I'm just going to kind of pinch it closed. Okay, so now we have our dowel rod on. My enter if you dare, I cut out with my Cricut using the Happy Hauntings Cricut cartridge, and I cut it out at 4.5 inches. And then as you can see, I have spider webs stamped on it, and it's also, I put foam on the back. Now I didn't add my centerpiece here so I could show you what I meant by doing the spider webs. So I just got a scrap sheet of paper, and the spider web stamp that I'm using is by Inkadinkadoo, and that one is All Hallows Eve Halloween. And I have the last piece of my sign here. So I'm going to put it down on my scrap paper. And then I use some Stays On jet black. And I'm going to ink up my stamp. And then I'm just going to kind of off stamp the spider web. Onto, maybe I'll go this way. Okay, so it ends up looking like that. Let me close this up here. And then on the back, I added foam for dimension. Just clean off my stamp. So I'm going to flip that over and cut some foam. And I did that for those pieces too, but to save time on camera, I did that up ahead of time. Pretty self-explanatory what I did. Maybe a little piece here. Okay, so I'm going to add this to my sentiment. And before I add my sentiment to my sign, I want to put my cobwebs on. I'm just going to put this on here though for you guys to see. Okay, so that's all done. And then I have these cobwebs, and I cut out 4 sections of each web, and this came from the Doily Die Spiderweb by Cheery Lynn Designs. And it's a whole web, and then I just cut pieces off. So I cut out 4 pieces here. I'm going to glue that on the top. I really can't believe we're into our 6th project. I feel like I just started this series, and it's going so fast, guys. Especially since I'm back at school, back at work. Okay, I put that one there, and then I'm going to put this one on the bottom. About right there. Okay, I'm going to add glue to the back of my sign. Flip it around and center it. Okay, I'm going to hold that down for a minute. And then to make my cobwebs, I used cheesecloth, and I'll show you how I kind of went in and tore at it a little bit. Okay, and then I have one of these spiders a friend of mine sent me, so I thought it was perfect for this project. I made 2 little bows, and then my piece for my hanger piece, that actually measures 11 inches, so you guys can know that. And then this is the cheesecloth. I picked this up at Walmart in the craft section. And I'm just going to pull it apart. And I'm going to cut a piece off. Okay, so I just grabbed a piece like this, and I kind of started pulling at it and just making it look a little stringy. And then I popped it over my, I don't want that whole piece on here. I think I'll cut that in half. It can go on that side. Just kind of pulling at it. Until I get my desired look here. I'm just kind of fitting it over my dowel rod and sliding it over. And then seeing how it's going to hang. I don't want it perfect. I want it to look stringy. So what I did was just lifted it back up when I got it the look I wanted, and I just put a couple of dots of glue. The glue will dry clear, so I just kind of went in and tapped that so it stays a little. And it doesn't all have to stay, it can just hang stringy like, because I wanted it to look like a cobweb. And then I separated another piece, and I just kind of laid it here on the bottom. And how I got that to stay was I put my spider on top. So leave that there. Oh, let me get my other glue stick in here. There we go. Put some hot glue on my spider, and then just pop that right on top of that cheesecloth. And then I have enough left to kind of hang some over here. And I'm going to go in and put some glue dots down. Okay, and that'll dry clear. And then I'm going to put my ribbon right over the cheesecloth at the top end here so that it really stays secure. And put one bow there. Hold that down. And let me get my other bow. Hot glue. And put that on the other side. So now that cheesecloth is kind of under my bows and hot glue. And I see I still have my pin hanging out of my glue. Let me put that back before I lose it. And I don't have my glasses on. There we go. So I couldn't see. Okay, and then we're going to turn our sign around. And then I just put hot glue on the spider web end where you can see the spider web. And I glued it right down to the end there. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Spider web design. Face down. It just makes a nicer, you know, it just enables when you hang it that your spider web design shows on the front. And we're going to flip it over. And that's it, guys. That is our number 6 project. Enter if you dare. I hope you guys like it and make one of your own. If you do, let me know. I'd love to see a video or a photograph. You can go over to my Instagram. I think you can add one there. But if not, just let me know. I'd love to come over to your channel and check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have fun making yours. And if you have any questions, let me know. Take care.